So, should sport and politics mix? Serena Williams doesn't seem to have a problem with it. Here to talk it over in the studio, sports journalist Mihir Bose, and joining us from central London, branding expert Rita Clifton. She's in Kensington in London. Rita, I'll come to you first, if I may. Nike being applauded in many areas for taking a stand. What are your thoughts from a branding and marketing perspective? Have they got this right?
Well, in general, mixing sport and politics and big brands, it's not a great look, not a great idea. But of course, some issues transcend politics. And that's clearly the decision that Nike has made. I mean, these are very, very important issues for their customers, their young customers. And so, therefore, actually, Nike has had a great track record of nailing the zeitgeist on issues, on trends, on the right personality at the right time. They don't often get it wrong, and they've made a brave decision here, and let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, the company has had a recent record of wading into culturally sensitive issues. Its ambassadors include a transgender triathlete and a Muslim American fencer who wears a hijab when competing. Mihir, are Nike courting controversy for commercial gain? If we scratch the surface, are their intentions commercial rather than inviting cultural change?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about it. Nike is a very clever company. It makes cheap trainers and cheap apparel. Its manufacturing process has been much criticized as to how it does it. But it's very interesting. This is a break with tradition from Nike. Nike, for instance, led with Michael Jordan all those years ago, Tiger Woods, and Tiger Woods never made any statement on social issues or broader issues. He was very, very careful. In fact, he almost said nothing apart from how his putting was going. And Michael Jordan famously asked to campaign against Jesse Helms, who was the very right-wing Republican, said, you know, even Republicans buy sneakers. So Nike has made, if you like, a transactional change on this issue. It has decided, as Rita was saying, that there are young people out there who feel strongly. And let me say, what Kaepernick did was absolutely justified. The national anthem is portrayed in games. We don't have national anthems played when football matches are played. The Americans use it to, if you like, broadcast what America is. And he's an American. He feels strongly about the issues. But Nike is using this very clearly to reach out to a market which it feels is untapped and it can exploit.
Rita, is there going to be a backlash? It's being described as that in some areas of the media this morning. There were pictures all over social media of people burning their Nike trainers. Yeah. So we have to be a bit careful about this because obviously there are a lot of people who want to make a lot of noise. Sometimes you get threats to boycott brands and businesses, but what we should remember is, number one, Nike is a really powerful, valuable global brand. This is a brand worth some $30 billion. And it's succeeded and it's become that valuable because, of course, it gets it right so often and for so many people. And so, therefore, what one would say is that this is a little local difficulty. I mean, clearly it's North America, but again, this is a global brand connecting with global customers. This issue is really rather confined to North America. Nike taps into both global sport, global businesses, and also it's very, very good at local connections. If you just remember the fantastic, Londoner campaign that they've done recently, featuring the grime artist Skepta and also Harry Kane. I mean, they get it on the nail every time. They have been successful. It's a very valuable brand. And they've been successful by making the right kind of calls, the right kind of decisions. This might seem a short-term difficulty, but actually there are a lot of customers who are very connected, very loyal to Nike over the long term, and their track record really proves that. Yeah, and Mihir, is this a massive risk? Because this is a very divisive issue in America at the moment. Originally taking the knee was to protest against the violent treatment of African Americans by the police. The other half of the debate say this is disrespectful to the armed forces and American values. So it's probably the most divisive issue in America at the moment. And Nike have just signed an athlete who hasn't even got an NFL team. He is at the moment a politically divisive figure, nothing else. And he signed a multi-year deal.
deal. What if he never gets another NFL team? What then?
Yes, and Nike has taken, to a certain extent, a risk. But I'm sure, being a very clever company, and the share price went down, as you said, by a couple of percent, it has worked out, it thinks, that it is going to make profit out of it. It's going to reach out to people. And obviously, it also thinks it's going to reach out beyond America to other parts of the world where, if you like, the issues are not felt. In America, of course, it's very divisive, but other parts of the world would see this as absolutely right. What worries me about it is what sort of trend it might set by other companies doing it, and what other issues may be raised, because I think it's always we must be careful in how sports and politics mix and how they are used to promote certain causes.
Yeah, Rita, does this push the envelope? Will other companies be looking at this now and going, right, OK, we need to top this?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think this is a very particular issue. There are very particular things going on in America right now from a political point of view. As you say, it is divisive. On the other hand, there are many people who feel very strongly about this issue. It goes beyond politics into how people live. There's a whole lot of social issues attached to that. And Nike have made the decision very clearly that they are on the right side. This issue is on the right side, particularly for their customers. And again, they make choices, and this is how brands succeed. They make choices.
Why aren't their customers concerned with
make sure they really understand.
Why aren't their customers concerned with, dodgy labour practices and allegations of, them not paying enough tax? Why aren't consumers concerned with that?
Well, they are indeed. I mean, so some young customers, they will have a problem and they will maybe stop buying Nike. But again, we need to be cautious about what people say versus what they do. There are many brands that have had a short-term share price problem, and yet actually underlying that, people are liking the brand, they're loyal to the brand, and so on. And frankly, in this day and age, everything is visible in a digital age, so everything counts. If a company behaves badly on the inside, if its customers don't like that, they're going to find out. So they have to be very careful, and that's a great controller of corporate behaviour and brand behaviour. You've got to live up to whatever promises you're making, and frankly, any brand that doesn't do that does get punished, but by the people who really matter for them, which is their customers.
OK, Rita Clifton and Mihir Bose, thank you very much for coming in to talk about that issue this morning.